Hello, you guys. Today we have Miss Salen. We're on day 3 of work. All right. So, like I always say, I always start with a grooming session, even if I'm just doing like really basic groundwork. I don't really care. It establishes a routine and builds relationship and allows me to check over her body and make sure that there are no sores or cuts. Yeah. Oh, that's the spot. Then I like to teach my thoroughbreds to self-load onto the trailer is because a lot of the times I'm solo. Um, I'm hauling alone, and so when they can self-load, it makes life a whole lot easier. Um, Another thing is that I normally don't just have one horse with me; I have two, and so when I have two horses and my students with me, I can afford to have a naughty horse because then I trust my thoroughbred to be the sane horse on the trailer. So if you build your horse's confidence on the trailer, you can take them places and trust that they will be safe. Alrighty, so we have the trailer. This is a 2-horse straight load. It is a warm blood height, so it's more than tall enough for her. This is like the length of rope that I like for this. And then I will also use, some people call this a pig whip, some people call it a dressage whip, but like a good, I think this is what, 3 feet. So she's just going to be a little bit nervous about it. That's okay. We're just going to walk around it like it's no one's business. Like it lives here. I do want to emphasize that she is sweaty, but it's not because I've worked her. It is more because it is hot out. It's really hot out. We're in the south. And so she's a little bit sweaty. Just a little bit. Oh, scary noises. So we just kind of let her decompress. But we don't want her in my space when she is doing that. I also like these because you have to untwist these. So I have a horse that'll shake her head really hard, and the regular snap, she can break them off. Like that. Good. Good girl. So let her be curious about it. Never kill a horse's curiosity unless it's putting your life in danger or their life in danger. Good girl. Okay, so we're going to see how she gets on the trailer normally. So like how a typical person would load a trailer, which would be like a 2-person type of deal. Most of the thoroughbreds do pretty good at this, so this is a little bit shocking. So we don't want that explosive sit back tendency. That's not okay. We're just asking for 1 step now. Let's see if we can get 1 step. Good. So she gave us 1 step. So we'll walk away. And you can see she does a big exhale, lick and chew. You can tell that this horse, given the opportunity, would be very fractious and explosive. We don't want her to walk past us just because she's stressed out. And so in the background, she can see her herd. So she sees the herd. She knows she's safe. It's dark in here, so I'm not going to be mad at her. Good. Good try. Good. Lick and chew. She's processing that was the correct response. Taking a step is the correct response. And so, unfortunately, now most thoroughbreds load into the trailer like no one's business, especially if there's a ramp. They really don't care. Some of them are used to the big the big semis, the big 18-wheeler ones with the big ramps, and their horse buddies are already on there, and there's lights on in there. And some of them are not used to these little baby 2 horses, and they think that they won't fit. Let's ask. We'll reset, but we're not going to walk away completely. And so now what I'm going to do, just to redirect, she already is familiar with this. Good. I'm actually surprised. Good. Good. Take a minute to process and think. We're not going to ask any more. She's already taken one step like we asked. Good girl. And then before she decides to get off, we're going to decide for her that we're done. We're done. That's all we wanted. And so just a reminder, Salem has had almost a year off to be a horse. So a lot of these things, even though she might have been good at them a year ago, she might not be good at them anymore. Because she's had so much time off, she just needs a refresher. She does have a lot of like kind of spoiled horse tendencies, just because her owners are first-time horse owners. Good. Good. Let's see if we can have her step 1 foot onto the trailer without me being on there. Not in that little empty space. Let her think for a few seconds. That was probably not the smartest thing to do on my behalf. Thank you. Respectful of space. So she oftentimes want to kind of blow right through me when she's decompressing or when she's getting very heightened emotionally. She'll just try to blow right through me, and she needs to learn that that's not acceptable. So let's try this one more time. Nope, try again. Nope. Good. She's getting curious about what's in there. Good. And before she decides that she wants to back up, we're going to back her up ourselves. Good girl. Big decompression snort. And we walk. All right, now let's see if we can get her on the trailer the normal way. Might need to swing a little bit wider. Nope. All right, that was very good. So she gets a really big reward for that, and we're going to do a whole lap around. Good girl. So we're like even going to walk all the way around the camera. Alrighty. We're going to try that one more time. Trailer loading her the normal way. or I guess in the standard way, just walking on there with them. Ooh. Ooh. And then we're going to see if we can get her to stop halfway. And this is the stuff that builds confidence. We should be able to ask them to do one step forward, one step back. So it's not too big of a deal, but she decided to back off herself. And so I decided, well, if you want to back off yourself, you better keep going backwards. So that way she doesn't learn the sitting back, but also so she doesn't think that she gets to choose when we take steps. And to a degree, she does, you know. Can we get a step like this? Good. We're going to see how many different ways we can ask her to take a step onto the trailer. And immediately walk her back over to it. Good. We want her staying here until we ask her to back up. The ramp has to be her best friend just as much as the trailer has to be her best friend, because if she panics about the ramp, she's going to panic about the trailer. She's going to take that energy with her when she's backing out of it and when she's getting onto it. And so I'll ask her to back up much nicer when she's respectful about it. Good girl, nice big lick and chew. And so we'll take this really big loopy lap all the way around the camera. And then I'm going to walk in the trailer again with her. We just kind of do it a bunch of different ways until we build confidence. And I want her to be able to stop loading right there. Whoa. Good girl. Right there. Good girl. Step up. I don't want her to pop her head on the roof, so I'm not going to be that big and dramatic about it, because then that's a very bad experience to happen, and that can be very, very bad. So I don't want her to learn that putting her head up in the trailer is going to let her get away with things, but at the same time, I don't want to let it happen too bad, because it can be pretty severe when it happens. Good girl. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Good girl. And she just doesn't get the concept. It's not that she's being disobedient. It's that she just doesn't understand it. Oh, she's going to sleep. She is. She's going to sleep in the trailer. So that's the energy I like to have with the trailer, is that it's just like this lazy, boring thing. Going to the vet shouldn't be stressful. Good girl. Going on a trail ride shouldn't be stressful. Everything should just be easy and slow and boring. I'm scratching the insides of her ears right now, and she's falling asleep. Good girl. Ooh. Oh. Don't bonk your head. You'll scare yourself. Good. Big lap, because that was very good. that's exactly what I'm talking about, is we want to have those little baby steps. We want to be able to stop her, back her, halfway up the ramp, halfway back down the ramp, halfway in the trailer, all the way in the trailer. And we should be able to do those micro movements back and forth and back and forth. And the horse should be completely confident with it. The horse shouldn't have any hesitation. The horse shouldn't have any fear. It should be lazy and it should be boring. And so that big explosive energy, like I said about Sailing, is she'll only do it once. Look, I'm going to juke her. I'm going to juke her. She wasn't ready for it. I just juked her. Oh, I broke your ankles. Come on. Pretend like no one's there. Good. There's also a little bit of hay in this trailer. So she predicted my movement because I put some energy into her. That was my bad, not her fault. But I don't want her to predict me too much. Don't do that. That's rude. Step up. Good. And back. Whoa. Whoa. Then right back on like nothing just happened. You got to get them very good at following the string, following the rope, following pressure. You're going to lift your head and bonk it and scare the shit out of yourself. So good at following, but then also good at yielding the hindquarters and yielding the shoulders. Ooh. Let's see if we can have her. Good. Drop her head was what I was about to say, and she just did it before I fully asked. And I'm honestly really glad we had a little explosion about this, because I didn't think that was going to happen. I honestly thought that she was just going to load in the trailer like a normal horse. All right. So now let's bring some self-loading stuff into this. And let's see if we can get her to self-load on the trailer today. If not, I'm not worried about it. We've got time. And we made a lot of progress today. So we're going to ask again. Good. I'll take that attempt, even though it was kind of halfway, because I didn't really ask correctly. And this is like gonna be probably like a maybe 20-minute session, maybe probably closer to 15 in all honesty. So I'm just gonna use this to get at her hind end a little bit, to ask her to step forward more. Eventually I should just be able to look at her shoulder. Look at her shoulder and get it to go forward. She gave way a little bit. She got a little frustrated, but that's okay. Let her think about it. Remember, they're not used to this. We had a really good try. Good. Before she decides to back up herself, I'm going to back her up. I want her to back up, though. Back up, back up. There we go. She got a little predictive, and she knew where we were going to go. So we're going to go this way instead. The other thing about thoroughbreds, a lot of people don't think about, they are very, very smart horses. And so if you keep doing the same thing with them, they have great pattern recognition, but that also can be a bad thing at times too. And so you kind of got to keep things new and funky and fresh for them. because you don't want them to be too predictive of your movements, because they are so smart that sometimes they might use it to their advantage. Well, I know my human's gonna come and get me in the pasture right now because it's 5 p.m. So I'm gonna be on the other end of the pasture. She's itching her face on my trailer right now. She's adorable. I don't know if y'all can see that. She's so silly. Can we ask again? Good. Uh-uh-uh. Uh-uh-uh. Can we try again? She's just uncertain. Good girl. Okay, I moved the camera a little bit so we can get a closer angle for this. I think we're just about there. Good. We're not going to test our luck with that. We're just going to walk off. That was very good, Salen. All right, let's try again. Uh-uh-uh. She just lost some confidence. Uh-uh-uh. Good girl. Good girl. Yeah, good exhale. Very good. Very good. And that's where we finished today. And so now for the next 3 days, we'll end our groundwork sessions and she'll load onto the trailer. And that'll be how we end things on a good note. And maybe I'll hide some treats in there or something to make this be the reward at the end of the session. All right, so we'll shh. Good. Shh. Good girl. Good girl. What a brave horse.